Yo, yo, yo. It is Friday night, and tonight your boy is going solo. PlayCallers Sports Talk. We're about to dig into some juicy stuff. We're going to keep it light. This is what I like to call a truncated episode, but your boy holding it down, because, hey, if not me, who else, right? But before we get into things, for those people who might be here for the first time, for those people who might be returning, haven't seen us in a while, and even if you were here and maybe you just had a long week and you forgot, let me tell you who we are. So, a couple of things we're definitely gonna jump into, right? But the main thing, something that caught my eye, was the top 100 list that the NFL threw out this week, right? And I think, and if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. If you're in the comments, feel free to interact with your boy so we could talk about this thing. So Sam says, hardest working man on YouTube. Hey, I appreciate it, Shady Sports. Steve Ross says, hey, I'll join you next Friday. I'm good, man. This is my thing. Jory says, what's up, cool? What's up, Jory? And then my man, Big E. We in here like Boots hair. What up, brother? What's going on, man? And then I forgot Sam up here early says, great night to talk sports. Hey, it is a great night to talk sports. There's so many different things to talk about. There's a whole list, but instead of going through the list, right? Because everybody's done that, you can see the list. You can go, all you got to do is Google. Go to Google and type in ESPN Top 100 NBA Players list. It'll pop up for you. Just want to focus on one area real quick, right? And that area is number one. So in this list, the number one player is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hey, everyone knows I'm a big Giannis fan, right? But at number two on that list is Nikola Jokic. So I ask, if you can't be the number one player going into the season before any games are played, the year that you actually are the MVP of the NBA Finals, will you ever be? Will there ever be a time where writers, insiders, such and such, all the connected people will vote you number one? The answer to that question seems to be no for this particular individual. And it's okay, though, because he doesn't care, right? So a lot of people get up here and moan and complain and cry and say, it's not fair. I'm a Nuggets fan, right? Everybody knows I'm a Nuggets fan. But I'm not going to sit here and cry and say, it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm just going to focus on the fact that if you can't be considered the best player in the NBA the year after you're the NBA Finals MVP and average a triple-double, you never will be. So, hey, Jokic, oh no, you got to settle for being the second best player in the league. How disappointing. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that list marinate, right? On next week's episode, we're going to break down that list. We're going to talk about that list. Me and my co-host, who will be back, we're going to break down maybe 5 or 10 guys on that list that we want to specifically discuss and talk about. But because it's new, because it's hot, we had to bring it up. I noticed there's a lot of guys that really moved around on this list. Got a couple of comments I want to address here. We're going to stop and circle back around. So Steve says, Phillies are in the NLCS. Eagles are 5-0. Flyers won. Great day in Philly sports. The only one I care about is the Eagles. Piss on the rest of them. But you are right. That did happen. All right. And Jory says, it's because his defense is lacking, if you ask me. So, Jory, question for you. How much better is Giannis's defense than Jokic's offense? Can Giannis dribble the ball down the court like a point guard? Can Giannis average 10 assists for a season? Can Giannis make threes? Right? There's a lot of things that Giannis can't do that Jokic can do. Defensively, Giannis is probably a better overall defender than Jokic. Get that. But the repertoire that Jokic has far exceeds the repertoire of Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know, that's just me, right? And I'm not looking as a Nuggets fan. I'm looking as a basketball enthusiast. I've been playing basketball since I remember playing at 3 years old. So I may have played before that, but I don't remember. So ever since I can remember, I've been playing basketball. So for me, your overall game, I get it. Everyone has deficiencies. Nobody's great at everything. But there's more, you're checking more boxes on the Jokic side than you are on the Antetokounmpo side when we talk about uh, range shooting. We talk about all the offensive skills, jump shot, all that. Giannis is a driver. Giannis is really good at what he does, right? But can he step outside and consistently make a three? No. Can he be your facilitator? No. Is he better defensively? He's going to have some. He's going to be better defensively. But when you look at the overall picture, to me, there's only one guy that stands above everybody else. But it's all good. You don't always get your props. That's the way it goes. Sometimes you don't get your flowers until you go. Sometimes you get your flowers until you're out of the league. When there's no one else that can duplicate your greatness, that's sometimes when people see how great you really are. So, in my humble opinion, that's what I think is going on with my boy Nikola Jokic. But hey, shout out to Giannis. No one can argue that Giannis is one of the best players in the league. So it's a matter of a spot. It's all good. It's all good. Just hopefully it's another heavy chip on Jokic's shoulder. He can carry a lot of them. All right, so Rod Uncensored in the building. He says, "What's up, Pack Nation? Tank for QB." So Rod's my guy, right? Rod's a hardcore Patriots fan, right? And I'm not one of the people that say, "Oh, you're a Patriots fan, you this, you that." You like who you like, right? It's just like we talk about with relationships and whatever else. You like who you like. You can't help who you like. You like them. But I will say that Rod has seen him. Like I told Rod, this QB was wacky cheese. Told him that before the season started. I told him that guy was not anyone's answer. So now Rod sees what I'm talking about. So welcome to the reality, Rod. I know as a fan it's difficult, my brother, but hey, we've all been there. We had Carson Wentz and some other guys. So it is what it is. All right, and Shady Sports comes back with a comment here. Says best part about Joker is that he doesn't care about anyone's opinion. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just a discussable debate. It don't matter, Joker. It don't matter to the Nuggets. The Nuggets are not going to not repeat because Jokic wasn't named the number one player in the NBA. And they're not going to repeat because he wasn't named the number one player in the NBA. It doesn't matter. It's just people's opinion, right? It's opinions. We all got one. I got one. Y'all got one. We all got one. It's all good. But, I mean, I love how I feel like the NBA universe gives the Nuggets and Jokic so many things to fuel the flame. I appreciate it, right? Because that's my squad. So, hey, when you can give us more things to be like about and push for more stuff to put on the bulletin board, let's get it. Jamal Murray ain't even on the list, I don't believe. It's all good, though, man. We know what team has two players in the top 10 is the last thing I'm going to say. There's only one team that has two players in the top 10. At number 10 and number 9, you got Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Hey, the thing is, when you look at those two individuals, right? I would say they deserve to be in the top 10. I would. Because they don't take into account injuries, length of injuries, and it's just play when you play. So definitely both deserve to be in the top 10. Not going to hate on that, not going to say they don't deserve. Kudos to them as well, especially LeBron. I talk a lot about LeBron and this and that, different things with LeBron, but I can say this. The one thing you cannot take away from LeBron James is that man's out here. That man is in these streets every year, get it in. Father Time's catching up, but he's fighting. He's fighting hard for it. So, I mean, you got to give him that. And to be the number 9 player at an advanced age for NBA players, that's nothing to sneeze at. So there's a lot of people that hate on everything LeBron does. Doesn't matter if he breathes. Doesn't matter if he go on vacation. It doesn't matter if he eat, he drink, he make a post, whatever. Whatever he says, there's a lot of people that hate on it. But if you're going to point out all those things that are not the best about LeBron, then you got to, when things happen that are positive, you got to be willing to say, all right, he does do that, though. And that's what the Jordan haters, LeBron haters, the Kobe haters, the whoever haters do not want to admit. Why hate? Just appreciate. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's all you have to do. Tell the truth. All right. So again, appreciate everyone in the comments. Like I said, we're gonna have a little truncated tonight. We're gonna talk about what we need to talk about, and we're gonna keep it pushing up out of here tonight. All right. So last week, I got to put this up. You can watch. You can catch them for Bronze Sexual Wednesday. For those of you who don't know, one of my colleagues, good friend of mine, Snowman, does Snowman in the morning, every morning. Right? It's on Shady Sports Network, as well as many other channels. But Brian hating on Wednesday. The second hour on Wednesday. If you don't want to hear Brian hate, just tune out. If you're a Brian hater, or you want to get on and defend your king, as they call him, they got plenty of time for you. I'm gonna just put it like that. But so we had a lot happen in the world of college football this past week. College football is crazy. If you watch college football, you know it's a crazy thing, man. You got guys number 5 one week, number 7 one week, out of the league. As far as the top 25 out of the top 25 the next week. So it's real wild. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really, really wild. And I'm not knocking it at all. I enjoy it. I love it. I support it. It kind of makes me a little giddy because, like I said, I like it. I want to see it. I want to be a part of it. The one thing that's interesting about it, though, is it does take away from the consistency. So college sports is different. And this is not in a bad way at all. This is in a good way. College football allows you to kind of see everything that's happening, right? If it's happening in college football, you're seeing it. So that's the good part. So we're gonna go over the top 25 here in a few minutes. But before we do that, we got to back up just a tad bit. And we got to give you some things that happen in week 6 college football. So week 6, we're gonna just go down the top 25. One of these is gonna sting really bad for you, boy, but we're gonna make it happen. So we got number 1 Georgia. They won 51-13 over Kentucky. A lot of people thought Kentucky had a chance in this game. Kentucky did have a chance until the game started, right? I mean, we talk all the time about, this team hasn't started strong and this team hasn't lived up to expectations. So with those things happening, I think that they can get upset. I done told y'all, you can listen, you can not, that's up to you. I told y'all here, I'll tell y'all other places. When it comes to college football, Georgia's a problem this year. If you're not going to believe in Georgia, that's your own fault. Nobody's but yours. Until somebody knocks the king down, the king is still the king. Georgia still sits atop the throne. That's what it is. Till somebody makes it different, that's what it's going to be. All right, number 2, Michigan. They lit up Minnesota similarly, 52-10. So another, as my big guy, my big bro Chris Bass would say, another ass whooping for Minnesota at the hands of Michigan. It happens. All right, then we get to number 3 Texas. Number 3 Texas fell 34-30 to number 12 Oklahoma. So shout out to Oklahoma for pulling off that upset. I didn't see Oklahoma being able to do this. It was a tight game, but most of the time when there's an upset, there's a tight game. Right? That's just what happens. All right, then we got number 4 Ohio State. They beat Maryland 37-17. So solid win for Ohio State. So 3 of the top 4 teams decided to handle their business, and 1 team didn't. All right, then we go to number 5, Florida State. They did their thing against Virginia Tech, 39-17. Excuse me, guys. So then we had number 9, USC, 43. Arizona, 41. Triple overtime. USC did get the win. So you can't knock them for getting the win. But shout out to Arizona. Arizona took them boys to 3 overtimes. Shout out to that. I like that. I like the fact that you see a lot of these teams in the Pac-12 which is going to be the Pac-2 next year, playing hard, saying we're going to go out with a bang as this iteration of the Pac-12. I'm sure they'll figure out how to kind of pull it back together somehow. We'll see how that goes too. All right, then we got number 25, Louisville, with the upset that your boy called last week. Got the receipts, as Coach Brown would say, beating number 10 Notre Dame 33-20. Solid win, not even like a field goal, or like a solid win by Louisville. Then we got number 11, Alabama. They put up 26, and they beat an unranked Texas A&M team by 6. So solid win, not great. Another upset, UCLA at number 25 last week beats number 13 Washington State by a score of 25-17. A lot of people have been really high on Washington State. I've kind of been in a wait and see mode with them. So we see that at least one of they got a loss now, so they're gonna come down some, of course, but we'll see how they bounce back. When you're that ranked team like a Texas, like a Washington State, right? Like some other teams we'll get to here in a minute. When you catch that L, what happens next? That's the question. So that's what we'll find out tomorrow. All right, then we have number 14, North Carolina, with a 42-7 win over Syracuse. So UNC kind of doing their thing, making it happen. I've been a little leery about them as well, but so far, so good. We're going to see about them this week. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, too. We got number 15, Oregon State, with a 52-40 win over Cal. That Cal team that, as of next season, will be in the ACC. All right, then we have number 16, Ole Miss, with a 27-20 win over Arkansas. Arkansas is one of my favorite like underdog teams. That's the underdog team. It's kind of like the Cardinals in the NFL. And before you Arkansas fans look at me crazy, I mean, they're very scrappy and they're going to play you hard no matter what. I'm not saying talent-wise. I'm just saying mentality-wise. So I love that about Arkansas. So then, oh, man, I knew this game was coming. But, all right. Unranked Georgia Tech with a 23-17 win over Miami. Miami was ranked number 17 last week. So I want to paint a picture for those who may not have seen this. This doesn't happen much in college sports, right? Just stupidity. You have the ball. Miami had the ball with less than a minute left. I can't remember the exact seconds, but they had the ball with less than a minute left or somewhere around there. All they had to do, take a knee a couple of times. The game would have been over. What does Miami do? They run the ball. What does the kid do? He fumbles. That moment there, if you've been watching the show, you've heard me every week. Hey, Miami fans, we may be back, but slow your roll. Miami has a way of disappointing us. This is not a one-year thing. It's not 2-3. This has been the story since the early 2000s. You start to believe in Miami. They start to get some momentum, and they do this to an unranked team. So to further add to this story, and this is my team, so I feel like I can get into them a little bit, right? I'm not going to get anybody else's team like that. I'm getting to my own team. The AD, the athletic director for Miami came out, and instead of saying how bad of a play this was, instead of just saying, hey, you know, we made a mistake, we made a bad play. He's complaining about the rules, saying that the kid might have been down and different stuff. I want to say this, and I'm going to say this one time, and I'm not going to talk about this anymore. The fact that you're more concerned with something needed to be updated than the play calling of Mario Cristobal and the offensive coordinator for Miami, that concerns me. Hey, whatever happened, happened. You take a knee, it doesn't even matter. You know, you called soft defense, right? You did everything to lose the game, and Georgia Tech took it from you. Learn the lesson, shut your mouths, put your heads down. You weren't going to win a championship this year anyway, and you're Miami, and you've given yourself the reputation to do this all the time. Take your L, let's sit with it, and try to make it up this week and take Carolina down with us. That's what you do. All the other stuff, man, it's over. All right, we got to move on. Number 23, LSU with a 49-39 victory over number 21, Missouri. So LSU say, hey, we coming back. We caught the L. We was at the bottom. We coming back. All right. And then we had Wyoming beat number 24, Fresno State. I call this game as well. I'm actually not that surprised. Fresno State ranked at the bottom. When you ranked at the bottom, you ranked at the bottom because you are good enough to be a top 25 team, but just barely. All right, so we're quickly going to go through the updated top 25 here, and then we're going to pick matchups, and you guys feel free to pick along with me. And then we're going to talk a little NFL. And like I said earlier, man, we're going to make some moves. You know what I'm saying? After that, we're going to make some moves. We ain't going to hold you this Friday. We're going to have fun. We're going to be here for a good time, not a long time. All right, so let's get back into this college football here. All right, so your top 25. Still got number 1, Georgia. They were number 1 last week, stayed stagnant. Michigan, number 2, still number 2. Ohio State, number 3 this week. They moved up for number 4 because of that loss by Texas. Florida State, they moved up from 5 to 4. Oklahoma moved from 12 to 5 with the win over Texas, which I think that's feasible just by, you're already right outside the top 10, and then you beat the number 3 team in the country. So 5 is not, I don't have a problem with that move. Penn State stays at 6. Washington stays at 7. Oregon stays at 8. Texas falls from 3 to 9. USC falls from 9 to 10. 1 spot for winning overtime. That's nothing big here. Alabama stays static at 11. North Carolina moves up from 14 to 12. Ole Miss moves up from 16 to 13. Louisville goes from barely ranked at 25 all the way up to 14. 9-spot jump. I love it. Oregon State stays at 15. Utah goes from 18 to 16. Duke goes from 19 to 17. UCLA comes from outside the rankings to 18. Washington State falls to a tie for 19. They were 13. Tennessee moves up from 22 to 19 as well. So I guess for the sake of argument, we'll just call Tennessee 20. Notre Dame was 10th. They fall to 21, so they fall 11 spots with that loss. LSU was 23. They moved up 1 spot to 22. Kansas goes from not ranked to 23. Kentucky goes from 20 to 24 with a loss to the number 1 team. And then somehow, some way, Miami's still in the top 25. I'll say for me, I'm just going to say, man, just off the idiocracy of the play, I'm like, they shouldn't even be in the top 25. I mean, I'll take it. As a fan, I'll take it. But, bro, you shouldn't be there after the type of garbage play. All right, so Shady Sports says quite the fall for Notre Dame. Yeah, but you got to remember with Notre Dame, there's been a couple of those like nail biters that they were able to squeak by. So you kind of feel like the voters were already like, as soon as you lose, we got something for you. And they caught that L. Like I said about Miami, take the L and hang it. Because, hey, you got to hang the L because you've missed 2, 3, maybe 4 crazy L's already. So just be happy that that's all you got. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to take that L and you got to hold it. That's an L holding experience. Hold it L. All right, so we're going to hop over to the picks for this week. And again, you still with me? Pick these games with me, man. All right, we're going to start at the bottom and go up. So we're going to start with the bottom game. Number 24, Kentucky versus Missouri. Going to go Kentucky. I'm not going to give you a long explanation this week. Like I said, we're here for a good time, not a long time. All right, number 23, Kansas at Oklahoma State. Now look at that one. I think I'm gonna go Oklahoma State, right? I'm gonna go out on a limb. All right, we got number 22 LSU versus Auburn. I'm going to go LSU. I think they've had that L. They kind of had that fall down. As it's time for the comeback. Will it get them on the way back up? No, but get as far as you can. L's hurt a lot now, but better now than the end of the season. All right, then we got number 19 Washington State versus Arizona. Pac-12 matchup. Curious to see the bounce back. I'm going to stay stock and go Washington State, but I'm going to put this one on upset alert just because it depends on if Arizona comes out ready to pounce on a team that's already, a little down from that loss. All right, then we got number 19 Tennessee versus Texas A&M. If you watch the show, Texas A&M is a team. I don't necessarily think they have bad talent, but I think they have bad coaching. Tennessee, to me, has a better coaching staff. Most teams do, except for Miami. I'm going to go Tennessee. All right, and then we have number 17 Duke versus NC State. Duke, so far this year, has proven that they're a pretty good team. They don't have a quarterback, though. So the question is, how is that going to go? I'm going to say that they were smart enough to recruit more than one good quarterback, and I'm going to still give it to Duke, but in a very tight game. And you may feel it's a cop-out. Got to put this one on upset alert, too. Without the starting QB, you got to put this on upset alert. Then we have number 16, Utah versus Cal. Definitely going to go Utah in this game. Say this most weeks. Without their quarterback, there's very few teams that are going to beat Utah. And we got Oregon State and number 15 versus number 18, UCLA. I am going to say UCLA is going to get this game. That UCLA they're riding high. They got a good bump. Let's get it. All right, then we got number 14, Louisville at Pitt. If Pitt had a little bit more, this would be the game to kind of slide in there because Louisville's riding high off that win, but I think they're going to be able to take this one. Then we have number 11, Alabama versus Arkansas. This is a noon game. Arkansas is feisty. Alabama's really iffy to me. I'm going to be wild. Let's just go Arkansas. Like, hey, picks the shoe to go wrong, baby. I'm picking. All right. And then we got number 10, USC at number 21, Notre Dame. I am going to say USC is going to go ahead and get a win there. I skipped this one on purpose, but I'm going to save it for last because I can. All right, so we got number 7, Washington versus number 8, Oregon. I feel more confident in Oregon. The way that they've been handling themselves when they played has been very strong. I'm going to go Oregon in this one, but I could see Washington possibly pulling it out, but I'm going to take the upset. Technically upset by number, but I think this is a 50-50 game. All right, and we got UMass versus, number 6, Penn State versus UMass. I am going to take Penn State. Until somebody beats Penn State, I'm riding with Penn State. All right, then we got number 4, Florida State versus Syracuse. This is another noon game. I'm going to go Florida State. Syracuse may can give them a little bit of a challenge, but I'm going to go Florida State for sure. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State. I'm not going to take the time to go through each individual game. Georgia's at Vanderbilt. Michigan's in Indiana. Ohio State's at Purdue. All three of those guys are going to win, no doubt about it. All right, so then we're going to come back to the game I want to save for last. Kind of say the best for last, but not really. But we have number 12, UNC versus number 25, Miami Hurricanes. I dogged Miami a few minutes ago. Miami deserved every bit of that dogging. Miami didn't do anything to make me say anything that I said was wrong. All right. So Shady Sports was picking along with us. So we're going to highlight those real quick, and then we'll get back to that Miami UNC game. All right, so we got Oklahoma State for Shady Sports, got LSU for Shady Sports, Arizona, Texas A&M, also picks Duke, also picks Utah. All right, UCLA, Pitt, Alabama. Oh, about to miss one here. Tripping. USC. Shady Sports also has Oregon, Penn State, Florida State. Agree with the 3 picks, yeah. And then they have UNC. So this is what I'm going to say. Miami, you are lucky because you have an immediate chance for redemption. Whether you take that or not, I don't know, because you don't even have sense enough to take a knee when you're having a crappy game and you actually had a lead. You don't have sense enough to take a knee. So I have to take that to account. So what I do every year with this team is I wait for them to show me who they are, right? So that way, unlike a lot of my fellow Hurricanes fans, I'm not upset right now. I'm looking at them like I told you so. But again, if you watch this show all season, I've said, calm down, pump your brakes, Miami fans. We know our relationship with this team. We know how they get down. Let's not get too high when a couple of wins happen, and let's not sink all the way to the bottom when the inevitable, horrible loss happens. So I'm good. But I'm going to go with my heart, not my head, and I'm going to pick Miami with the upset to put that L on the UNC, help them carry it, and show people that last week was a poor decision and poor play calling, but they had a time to get it together, and we're not going to be the laughing stock of college football this season. So we'll see, but that's what I believe is going to happen. More heart than head. Again, I'm making the picks, so we guarantee that a few of them are going to be wrong, but a few of them are going to be right too. Pay attention, pay attention. All right, so we're going to move into National Football League, right? So we had a Thursday game. And if there's a team who I think can understand what the Philadelphia Eagles are going through right now, I think it's the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I think they're the other team that just doesn't know what's popping. Like they just don't know. They're like, I don't know. I don't know. Every week, I look on the lines from their games. I watch some of the games, because they're prime time. Everybody's got Swifty, so we got to see Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Who happens to be one of the best players on the team, but either way, it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. So I think that when you look at the Chiefs, you see a team that isn't where it needs to be yet. But except for that opening night debacle without Kelsey, they have found a way to win games. So winning games has to matter, right? Winning games has to matter. We could talk about all the other things, but winning games has to matter. We have to say, if you come out and you win these games, doesn't matter if you get style points for being cute and winning by 20. Doesn't matter if you win by 1 on the last second bad call. You won the game. We have to give that, right? Especially in the regular season, because you can't go in the regular season 17 weeks and blow everybody out. So there's going to be these games where you say, this team did not play as well as I expected them to play. They didn't do the things that I expected them to do for the entirety of the game. It's okay. It happens. They didn't do that for the entirety of the season either. But when you can still say you're winning in those situations, which the Chiefs are doing, it is what it is. Now, the flip side of that, you played a team that pretty much half the team wants out. Sean Payton doesn't like he knows what he's doing. Personnel. But we talked about this way back when Sean Payton took this job. Sean Payton, you took a job for a team that you know didn't do what you need done in order to be successful. You took a job that you know a team needed a lot of work. You took a job with a quarterback that you know was probably not who he was 5 years ago. So when you do those things, This is the outcome that you get, sir. You have to be smart when you make the decisions. Maybe you got fooled, but if you watched the tape last year, you shouldn't have got fooled. All right, so we got Mo in the building. Mo, what's up? But yeah, man, Denver wasn't going to beat the Chiefs because Denver can't get out of their own way offensively. I saw a horribly called game, a horribly executed game on the offensive end, and a masterful defensive performance. If I'm a defender on Denver, I'm jumping somebody on their offense when we get in locker room. Period. Straight up and down, no games being played. That offense got to do better because that defense is really good. That offense is really not. So the Chiefs did what I expected them to do. They did what they should do, and they took the next step toward trying to repeat, right? You know, I'm an Eagle fan. I don't want to repeat. I want them to catch an L every week. But realistically, at the end of the day, you're supposed to win games, and that's what they did. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for what we call the main event around these parts. We're going to make our NFL picks. So, as I did with the NCAA picks, but we're going to break it up a little bit more here. We're going to do the 9:30 game and the 1 p.m. games. Then I'm going to stop, read your picks, and then we're going to go from the 4 o'clock games to the Monday night game. Then I'll come back and read your picks before we do what we're doing around here. Because remember, keep it in mind, we're here for a good time, not a long time. All right, so we got the 2-3 Commanders at the 3-2 Falcons. I'm going Commanders. The Falcons have the better defense. The Commanders have the better offense. But the Falcons also have Desmond Ridder at quarterback. And if you know me, you know I am not sold on Desmond Ridder. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a garbage juice or anything like that, but I'm not sold on Desmond Ridder, right? And I know I skipped the morning game, but I wanted to hit that Commanders Falcons game first. Yeah. Then we'll go on to the Ravens and Titans, which I should have did first, but you know me. We get it in there, though. That's what matters. So we got the 3-2 Ravens at the 2-3 Titans. I don't see a reason why the Ravens can't win this game. If they don't win the game, I would 100% put it on the travel. The NFL has to do something. I'm going to get on my soapbox for like 2 minutes, y'all. Just bear with me for about 2 minutes. The NFL has to do something about these London games. Jacksonville was able to sit in London for a week, get used to everything there, be prepared for their game, whereas Buffalo had to come over late week, and not really have as much of an opportunity to get adjusted. These are games that I feel like should be off of bye weeks, right? Or these are games where I feel like those guys need to go over there the day after their game. So when they're flying home, instead of flying home, I feel like they need to go ahead and fly to England for these games, because you can see teams that are going straight over, just not themselves. So NFL, just do something about it, man. You talk about player safety and want players to be at their best. Put them in situations for you to get a good product out of these games in England. It's not always the best product because of the travel. So let's do something about it, NFL. Figure out a way to fix it, man. That's what y'all get the big bucks for. Figure it out. All right, then we have the 1-4 Vikings at the 1-4 Bears. 1-4 versus 1-4. I gotta say, I'm gonna go with who I believe was gonna be a better team in the preseason, and that's the Bears. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins is, he's being the white Dak Prescott in every sense of the word. Justin Fields looks a little bit better. DJ Moore is starting to get off. The running game may be a problem with the Bears because everybody in their running room is hurt except for one guy in this Foreman. But I do believe they can still catch a dub here. So I think we get the Bears in a low-scoring game that you would not watch unless you're a fan of one of those teams. All right, and then we have the Seattle Seahawks at 3-1 against the 2-3 Bengals. One contention point of curiosity in this game, just one. Are we going to get the same Bengals team we saw against the Cardinals against these Seahawks. Because if we get that same team, the Seahawks are going to probably be 3-2 because they're not going to be able to handle that offensive onslaught. The Seahawks are a good defense. When the Bengals are healthy, and I'm talking about Joe Burrow, this is a great offense. So I'm going to go Cincinnati. But if they don't have Burrow playing like he did last week, they can't win this game. All right, and then we got the 5-0 49ers against the 2-2 Browns that don't have Deshaun Watson. Right? When PJ Washington is your starting quarterback, I'm going to just simply say you're going to lose that game. We're going 6-0 San Francisco 49ers. If they lose this game, this is just a trip up because they didn't focus. They didn't do what they needed to do because they felt like this was a win. And then we'll move on to the New Orleans Saints at 3-2, at the Houston Texans at 2-3. I'm going Houston. CJ Stroud is so far been an amazing talent in the NFL. There's not a lot of reasons to go against the Saints, but I think Stroud's going to be able to make enough plays. I think they're going to get the running game going. This is a Saints team that you can get some running yards on. And I think the Texans hop back in their win column, get back to 500. I think the Saints drop to 500. So we'll see. Like I say, y'all know I make a couple of picks that you like, what? And then they're wrong. But hey, it's my picks. That's what I do. I bet I don't get these two wrong. So we got the 3-2 Indianapolis Colts against the 3-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is at Jacksonville. I am going to go with Jacksonville. I do not have a lot of faith in the Colts. They have won more games than I thought they probably would win all season, so I'll give them that. But I think this is a game for Trevor Lawrence to come out and put this team on his back and make some plays to his wide receivers. Travis Etienne is going to do his thing. I think Jonathan Taylor may have a little rust still, so they're going to probably keep up their running back by committee, and I think that's going to hurt the Colts as well as, White Goodman is the guy, I believe, this week still. But what I will say is the Colts have surprised me 3 times already this season. So this could be another one, but I am going Jaguars. All right, and the last of the 1 o'clock games, this one right here, I'm not even going to talk about. The 0-5 Carolina Panthers get ready to get Chicago Bears the number 1 pick in the draft against the 4-1 Dolphins. I am definitely taking the Dolphins. The Panthers don't even have an offensive line to block for their franchise quarterback or possible franchise quarterback in Bryce Young. So you can't block for a guy. There's no way you're going to win, period. And that's why Panthers are 0-5. That's exactly why. All right, so we got a couple of here on the early games, couple of picks. So let's go through these things real quick. We got Shady Sports Network. Says the Falcons are going to win. And he says garbage juice. Garbage juice. I wasn't going to go quite there yet, but we are approaching that. We're also approaching, and Shady Sports as well as others will appreciate this, trace territory. Desmond Ritter. All right. Billy V picks ATL. What's up, Billy V? Thanks for tuning in, man. Billy V also picks Baltimore. Shady Sports picks Ravens, Bears, Bengals. They also pick. Oh, let me put up if you don't see my bad, y'all. Thought I hit the button. Ravens, Bears, Bengals. Shady Sports also picks the 49ers. Shady Sports picks New Orleans. And Shady Sports picks the Jaguars. So, hey, I know I'm on an island with some of these picks, man. They're a little wild. They may even be a little blasphemous, but hey, that's what I do. All right, so Billy V picks San Francisco. He also picks New Orleans. Shady Sports picks the Dolphins. And Billy V picks Jacksonville. So I dig it. I mean, like I said, a couple of those, I know I'm on the edge of blasphemy with my picks, but hey, sometimes you just got to go with the guts and how things feel. And I ain't talking about the bubble guts. Not this time. All right, so let's get to these 4 o'clock slate of games. So we start with the Patriots against the Raiders. I don't say this much. I haven't said this much over the years, but I'm going definitively Raiders. The Patriots are in trouble, 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 trouble. They will be in the contention for a top 3 to top 5 pick because they got to start over. And starting over at week 6, that itself is trouble. All right, then we have the 4-1 Lions versus the 3-1 Buccaneers. So this is the first real head scratcher game. The Lions are a very good team. The Bucs are a very good team. And one of those teams I expected to be, but the Bucs I did not. But guess what? What did my man Herms Edwards say? That's why you play the games. The Buccaneers caught an L to the Eagles. Another one of those, the Eagles didn't look great, but won games. But other than that, no one's topped them. The Lions got 1 L and 4 wins. So who's going to win the game? You ask yourself. Well, to put it bluntly, I believe the Lions are going to win this game. The reason is the running game with Montgomery, right? The Buccaneers kind of iffy on the running game. The Buccaneers are going to put up points. This is going to be close, but I think the Lions just have a better overall team. And I do see the Lions, to me, as the 4th best team in the NFC, behind, in no particular order, the 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, and then the Lions. So I think the Lions have a lot to show with this game. I think the Lions get it done. And I'm excited to see how far the Lions can go this year because I think I saw it last year when we played them week 1, that they just needed about another year, maybe 2, to kind of get things really together. And this team was going to be trouble. And they are trouble. All right. And then we got the 1-4 Cardinals against the Rams. What's funny is this is a divisional game. It's in LA, but this is a divisional game, right? The Cardinals are going to play hard. The problem the Cardinals are going to have is they're going to get down in this game, and I don't think they're going to be able to come back. So I'm going to go Rams because I feel like the Cardinals are still a really bad team, but they're a feisty bad team. If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to really beat us bad team, not we're just going to lay down for you. So I think it'll be a good game, but I think the Rams are going to win with that combination of Kupp and Nakua. As a matter of fact, I start both of them in the leagues. I have both. If I have one, I don't hesitate to put that one in because I know they're both going to be able to eat. All right, and then the last of the 425 games, we have my Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Jets. Definitely going with the Eagles. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think anybody thought I was going to pick the Jets. But we'll say this. I've been on here in other programs. Like I said, I've talked a lot of smack. I've given a lot of smoke in the direction of one Zach Wilson. Zach, I'm going to dissipate a little bit of that smoke because I saw you take accountability and I saw you have a good game. So if you can continue to move with that, you're going to look good for the remainder of the season. But not week 6, my brother. Week 6, you carrying this L. Philly all the way. We're going to put together our best game of the season. And I hope and pray to whatever football gods there are that continues every week. Every week, I just want to see the best game I can from my Philadelphia Eagles. And I believe this is going to be the start of us turning around and looking a little bit better. We're not at a point where we have to be too concerned this week. But we got to get ready for next week. Do not overlook the Jets, but let's put a nice, firm trouncing on someone. This is our week to do so. All right, and then 2 games left, y'all. We got the 1-4 New York Football Giants against the 3-2 Buffalo Bills. Hate to be the Giants this week. Hate to be the Giants. Going Bills. Hate to be the Giants. All right, and then we have the 3-2 Cowboys at the 2-2 Chargers. This is questionable. This is very questionable. Dallas is coming off of a tough loss, right? Dallas normally is a team when they lose, they come back and they kind of have a little spunk and they play hard. But the Chargers are notorious for just taking out the pistol, shoot themselves in both feet. Brandon Staley's just bad at that sort of thing. So I think, can't believe I'm saying this, I think Dallas is going to win this game because I think the Chargers are going to find a way to ruin it for themselves. But, and it's a big but, the Chargers are getting back the most electrifying player on their roster, one Austin Eckler. So I'm excited to see what his return is going to do. And my fantasy teams are very excited to see return Mr. Eckler because we've been catching L's left and right. We've been holding a lot of L's. I ain't even got room for no more in my arms. I'm going to need you to come back and show everybody who you is. My fantasy team needs it, sir. Very, very, very badly. All right, so let's go to the fam chat over here and let's get some information on these games. All right. So Billy V says Miami and Minnesota. Okay. Shady Sports, Lions. Billy V, Patriots. Okay. And of course, Billy V, if y'all don't know he's a Lions fan, pick those Lions. And hey, I think you're right. Shady Sports picks the Rams. Scrub Zero says Cards have no pass rush, to be honest. That's fair. That's fair. Shady Sports picks the Eagles. And by the way, what up, Scrub? Appreciate you tuning in as well. Billy V says, I think they're better than the Cowboys right now. I do think they're better. He's talking about the Chargers, but they just, Staley. Staley's the factor to me, Billy V. Like, I don't think that they can't. Staley's the factor to me. All right. And then he says the Lions again. Hey, feel it. Feel it. Shady Sports says the Bills. Scrub says the sorry ants versus the Bills. Yeah, it's gonna be a little tough. That's gonna be tough for him to do something with. Shady Sports says Chargers. Billy V says Philly. And then Scrub says Monday night game featuring two chokers. That is pretty much what we have. Who's the best of the chokers? And then lastly, Billy V says the LA Chargers. So I appreciate all the interaction from everybody tonight, man. Like I said, I wanted to come in, have fun, get up out of here, come through like a wrecking ball, bust stuff out, and roll about. You know, if you're watching, if you see this replay, man, make sure you like the video. If for any reason something happened with your computer, something happened with your finger, you broke your pointing finger that you use, and you accidentally haven't subscribed yet, hop in, hit that subscribe button, man, hit that share button, hit that like button. Show your boys some love. Shout out to my co-host, Mr. Steven Box, wasn't able to attend tonight, but guess what? That's what I'm here for. I can hold it down. I got this. But next week, you know, like I said, we're gonna go over that top 100 list. A little bit more detail. Of course, we're gonna go over the games. We're gonna go over the top 25 and what other stories are happening in the world of sports. By the way, if you play for the Broncos and you want to get somewhere else, this is the time for you to go talk to management because from what everything is pointing to, there might be a fire sale in Denver. So if you want a Denver player, this is the time to get on the phone. Howie. Howie. Excuse me. But with that being said, man, again, appreciate everyone for hopping in. We have hit the 55-minute mark, and we don't need to go further. So peace, love, and hair grease. And remember one thing. Always tell 2 of your friends and 4 of your enemies to come check us out. You know why? Because just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us. And Scrub Zero with the final comment of the night, the Broncos are a mess. Oh, before I forget, Friday mornings at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Go to the TuneIn app or go to WDZYFM.com and check out your boys, the Play Callers, on our live broadcast. Well, it's not live. On our broadcast that's playing on there live at 10 a.m. And I've got another thing coming to tell you guys about next week. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Check us out. So for my man Stephen Box, all I can say is play callers out. Back next week.